Okay, today we'll talk a little bit about the Chrome Debug MCP system. This is a two-part system that comes with a MCP server, but also works with a Chrome extension. The MCP server gives you standard Puppeteer controls, allowing you to open a browser, see the content of browsers. It opens everything in tabs. But today we're going to talk about the extension that hooks up to the MCP server. Now, once you get a license for Chrome Debug Assistant, what you'll be able to do, we'll go over some of the features here. One of the features here is you can select what sites you want Chrome Debug MCP to work on. It doesn't need to inject this code in every site, so you can choose where you want it to inject its code. The next thing is the enhanced click capture. This will give you a detailed quick report of what you clicked on, what the mouse was over when you clicked. Workflow recordings are recordings that happen when you click something. So if you just need to record screenshots and logs when you click through things, you can use workflow recordings for that. And also workflow recordings allow you to play back recordings. You can allow Claude to play back recordings if there is a workflow that you need to see in action. Screen recordings record on an interval, and you can control the interval. It's 0.5 all the way up to 5 seconds. And what happens is, at that interval, it records a screenshot and the console logs. So this is great for if you have something that happens in a timing, and you need to capture the timing and the screenshots that happen and the logs that happen at that timing. Screen recording is absolutely fantastic for that type of interaction. And then you can get the IDs for all of the recordings that you've made, and we give you a nice little prompt that you can copy to Claude Code so it can know how to look up the recordings that were saved in the database. Now here's an example of where you might use Chrome Debug. This Toastmaster Tools site allows you to click a plus next to each user and record the information at the bottom of the page. Now you might notice that there's a slight delay between clicking the plus icon and seeing the content actually show. So what you can do is go to Chrome Debug, and you can click on Record Settings and set the frame rate to be 0.5 seconds. And then you click the Start Recording button, and then the system starts to record. Okay, you see the flashing, you know it's recording fast, hit the button, then you stop recording. Now you'll always be able to go and view your frames, and you'll see what happens. See the logs that come in on each individual frame. So now what you can do is you can copy the prompt. You can go back to a Claude Code essence. Okay, so now we'll say to Claude Code is on the counter dashboard page. When I click the plus button, there seems to be a delay before the crutch word is counted. And then we'll paste in the string, and then we'll see what Claude Code has to say. What Claude Code does is it begins looking through the frames that have been saved, and it can see from the recording that there is a delay. Then based on the information that it received, it's able to go ahead and start it working. So Claude Code is going to get the screenshots, it's going to get the console logs. It can first search the logs. Once it finds the log it needs, then it's able to actually check the screenshots to see how they line up together, to give it even more context on how to fix the issue. So now Claude, based on all the information it received, is able to come back with a pretty good plan. Another good use case for the Chrome Debug system is the workflow recording. Now, The difference between workflow and screen recording is that workflow recording only records when you click something. And it tracks all the logs and takes screenshots, if that's what you desire, as you go through the system. So in this case, I have an issue where if I click Edit here and I adjust this, it should be updating the node. So if I change this to 40, it should be updating it to 40, but it's not. So we don't need a screen recording because screen recordings are great if you need to capture something that's happening in sequence. Workflow recordings are great if you just need to record things on click, because with a workflow recording, you can also play back the interaction. So in this case, let's run through a sample where we do a workflow recording. So we're going to do enhanced detail click capture. Now what that does is whenever you click on something, it's going to do a deep dive into what was clicked on. So in this case, this is a RET node, and the layers go pretty deep, so it's hard to debug because sometimes there might be something on top of something else. But in this case, if we do the enhanced click, it should give us a full HTML layer path so we can see everything that's under the mouse when you clicked. So look after that. You really want to only use that if you need to, because it's going to record a lot of data and save it to the database. Of course, you can always just delete the data if you don't need it. So if you're deleting, it's not really a problem. Set your JPEG size. We definitely want screenshots. We definitely want console logs and errors in the export. So what we'll do here is we'll start the workflow recording. So you'll see there's a lot of logs coming in, and that's what also makes this difficult to debug. So we're going to click the edit, and you'll see that the interactions are being recorded here. Click the edit button, and then we'll drag this over to, see they all being recorded. And then we'll update it, and then we'll see that the update did not happen. And then we'll stop the workflow recording. And now we will get the prompt so we can copy it into Claude Code. All right, what we're going to do here now is be sure that Claude Code know what the issue was. So when we have a node on canvas, click. Let's say we have a smile node. Canvas, and we click edit, and then make an adjustment. The adjustment is not saved and displayed the node. And then what we'll do is we'll paste in the recording for the workflow. We'll see what Claude Code comes back with. So now it's going to get the workflow recording session. Yep, so from the recording, you can see all the details. It's auto be uploaded to point 3. You can see that it logged, it was uploaded successfully. However, the configuration isn't being persisted. So displayed on a node. So again, it can see the screenshot. You can see the logs that are related to the screenshot. So anything it needs, it has the ability to search. And as it debugs, sometimes you can go back to the database to get more information. So it can have a full picture. It may come across a revelation, and then it can go back in time and then search the database to find out what the issue is. And now with the full context, it has a better chance of actually fixing the issue.